Come in to Hold My Banner, end-all, be-all, one-stop shop for all your Celtics need here on the Nesson Podcast Network. Thank you for tuning in. Wherever you get your podcast, please like, subscribe, and review. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We're on Spotify now as well. I'm George Bilecki, filling in for Travis Thomas here on Hold My Banner. And I'm happy to bring in my main man, Ante Campbell. Tay, how we doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, GB, man. As we said, I'm just excited to be here. We have a new opportunity to show off what we got, man, so I'm excited to have you here, man.
What I'm most excited about is not just talking about the finals that are mere days away, finally, after this long layoff, and what's going to be a great finals matchup with some of the best stars in the game. But Tay, for you and me, and for the listeners that don't know, this right here, this Hold My Banner episode is 9 years in the making. Now, Ante Campbell and I go back to 2015. It was the summer of 2015. I got an internship at Fox Sports 1, so I'm living at LA. Yep. And obviously that's where Tay grew up. Yep. He was a senior in high school at the time and high school basketball teammates with my cousin Declan. So when we'd be hanging out, it was a few times throughout the summer, chop it up. We'd be hanging out at night, on the weekends, whatever. And then, Tay, you went on to be a freshman at Fresno, right?
Yep, Fresno State.
And then for me, I went to my senior year at Seton Hall. So fast forward to March of 2016, and I'm covering Seton Hall, taking on Gonzaga in Denver in the NCAA tournament. Domantas Sabonis on that Gonzaga team, by the way. Yep. Other side of that little regional bracket, Fresno and Utah. And I'm looking down at the roster for Fresno, and I see freshman Ante Campbell, Brentwood High, and I look up, I go, Tay? Is that Tay? And sure enough, when you're running off the court after your warm-ups, there's a media availability. Just go, yo, Ante! Come on over. You had a high top fade at the time. Didn't recognize you, but I did once you came back again. Yep. So it's 9 years in the making that we're doing this pod together, man. This excites the hell out of me.
Yeah, we got that photo that we want to show off, too. It's real grainy. Yeah. The real 2016 iPhone vibes here. But as you can see right there at the top left of your screen is a picture of me and George making George look a little small there, just a little bit. And
just about a little. You got a few inches of height on me.
And he doesn't have the beard. I'm a little bit smaller too on, stocky-wise. I got to get it back in the gym. But, it's a picture of us. It was a great time. Great to be able to chop it up 2 minutes before I got out there and got nervous in front of my open practice in front of the world. So, yeah, man.
Hey, lights were bright. That was Denver 2016. Then we even fast forward. When you started at Nesson, I think the best thing, again, haven't seen each other in 8 years at that point. And I was Ante's onboarding coach, helping him get acclimated to Boston, being in Nesson. And sure enough, when he goes, I went to Brentwood High, I just looked at him, I go, Tay? And sure, it was all again. So, but let's get into it with the Celtics. Tay, I'm excited to be with you on this one, on this episode of Hold My Banner. We'll bring you back on this one. But I want to start with getting off what the expectations for Celtics fans need to be at Kristaps Porzingis. Because going into the finals in a spot that the Celtics have been in before, and this time the favorites in the finals have to think of it this way of the fate of the finals rests on three people. It's on Jason Tatum, and if he consistently can show up to the biggest moments of this finals matchup for 7 games or however long it goes, right? It's on Jaylen Brown with when Jason Tatum gets the opposing team's toughest defensive assignment, you are going to be the guy the offense runs through. And third, and most important to me, it's the X factor in these finals, it's Kristaps Porzingis. Now, this is a guy that missed 73 games over the last 3 regular seasons and 10 games in this postseason, but the Celtics only lost 1 of them. But what KP does is when he is back for game 1 of the NBA Finals, which he has said he has been playing and participating and competing in scrimmages, and he said at a press conference too, he has no problem getting up and getting a full go sprinting. It will be 37 days since his last basketball game. This is a guy that provides 20 and 7 to the Celtics team, that offensively can create so much from the nail of the free throw line. And obviously when you match up with this Mavericks team, led by Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, now Maxi Kleber's, he's back and healthy, 3-point shooting opens up the paint. And when we've seen the success for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it's been when they go to the rim and attack the inside against the Pacers, and that opened up the rest of the offense. But think about it defensively too, because what the Mavericks did and what they were able to succeed at was that lob threat with Gafford and Lively. And even with 2 bigs like Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns and Naz Reid off the bench, the Timberwolves still struggled from that component of the Dallas Mavericks offensive attack. Can Kristaps Porzingis, who has always been injured, coming back from a calf strain, can he be there for 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 games. I don't need 100% Kristaps Porzingis. I don't need 20 points per game, Kristaps Porzingis. Can you come in, provide 15 and 16 points per game, around that range? Can you still shoot 38% from 3 to open up the paint so the Jays can attack? Can you do your own on the defensive end where you get matched up on the poor shooter from the opposing team? But can you stay healthy? Can you be there for the entire finals series? Because this is a great Celtics team, but they ran through a weak East. And you could say, yeah, but hey, they got here without Kristaps. And there was no drop off in their net rating. And I agree completely. But this is a Dallas Mavericks team that ran through 3 50-win teams. This is a Dallas Mavericks team that since they hit the trade deadline hard and got Gafford and Washington into the fold and got acclimated after a few weeks, is a top 3 team on both ends of the floor. And you go through the regular season. Yes, the Celtics didn't drop many games and only lost twice in this playoff run. They had trouble against teams that were top 5 both ends of the floor. The Heat were not. The Cavaliers were not. The Pacers were not. The Mavericks are. And I don't even have to bring up Luka and Kyrie yet for what the matchup will be for the Jays. But what Kristaps Porzingis brings to both ends of the floor, a rim protector, a lob threat, in the pick and roll with Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Can he do all that? And why I am worried, yes, he's had almost a month and a half off of rest, right? Coming off this calf strain, it was non-contact, but can a guy that's 7'3", athletic, and you demand so much from him on both ends of the floor, and will be targeted by the Mavericks because they will go after him, can he hold up for the finals? That's what the Boston Celtics need. To me, you could come in and he could say whatever he is at the press conferences. And from the jump saying on Twitter, coming out, being thank you for the thoughts and prayers. And this is a guy that was pushing his rehab and saying it's at a historic rate. And I get that. I love the optimism from Kristaps. But when it comes to being on the floor, taking on this Mavericks team that is great defensively, have the big-bodied bigs to match up with you as well and play physical, can you get it done? Because Lively, as a perimeter defender, is much better than what the Celtics just saw from the Cavaliers or from the Pacers. Gafford, the size he plays and how they crash the boards, much tougher than what they saw in Miles Turner. This is a true finals matchup. It's not going to be Celtics in 5. It might not be Celtics in 6. If this goes 7, I wouldn't be stunned. But they need Kristaps Porzingis if they want to bring home this ring. If not, then maybe if they get it done without him, that could be an all-time performance, a legacy performance from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But Kristaps has to show up. This team put together was built around that big 3. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis. And if he's out, that's more minutes for Al Horford. That's more minutes for Luke Cornett, who's a traffic cone on defense. That's more minutes from Xavier Tillman. It's all about who you trust and who is healthy at this time of year. The Mavericks got healthy, Lively, back from his neck sprain. 25 minutes in a closeout game. Maxi Kleber coming back from that shoulder injury, shooting threes, getting it done. Luka Doncic looks fine after struggling with his knee early. Now we'll see what Kristaps Porzingis looks back. 37 days off from his last playoff game to game 1 of the NBA Finals. And think about it like this. Game 1, game 2, there's going to be rust to knock off as well for Porzingis. And that's why it's not just how healthy can he be, but also how quickly can he break back into the fold. All right, I'll bring back my boy Ante Campbell into this conversation. Tay, we've spoken ad nauseum about this finals matchup. We both love it. Yep. We see a lot in this Mavericks team. But to me, what do you think of that when we talk about Kristaps Porzingis and his possible health? And also, I mean, a guy that played D1 college ball at a high level, 37 days off in between his last game and his next game. How long could that rust take for him to knock off?
Yeah, it could take a while. I'll say game 1, he probably won't look like himself. Game 2, we'll see more of the Kristaps Porzingis that we know. Game 3, he'll be himself. No question about that. He'll be ready to play, especially going to Dallas. He'll know what he needs to get his wind up. He'll already have gotten the jitters and the excitement and that, just that ultimate burst of energy out in the first 2 games. Game 3 is when I really expect him to really show up. But I like what you said. He's important. No question about that. Everybody knows how great this team is when he's playing like the player that we know he can be. But the real important guy is Xavier Tillman. Like, dude, you have to show up and bang, because Porzingis is not going to be able to do it for a full game. Neither is Horford. At his age, he's not going to be able to bang for a whole game. So you need that third guy who's going to be able to come in to run around with the young guys, who's played against Dallas, he has a little bit of chirping against Dallas when he was back there with Memphis with Kyrie. So he has some ultimate hate. I wouldn't say hate, but a little bit of, chirping and, edge against Kyrie. So
what you need.
Hopefully he comes in ready to play, hard hat on, and ready to take on the challenge that is the Dallas Mavericks bigs, which you talked about. But I want to get this from you really quickly.
Yeah.
You talked about it might not take 5 games. It might not take 6 games. It might take 7. What is your official prediction for this series?
I knew you were going to do this to me, Ted. It's going 6. If it goes 7, I won't be shocked.
Yep.
But anyone thinking either side will win this in 5, no, there's no way about this.
Yep.
This Celtics team is so deep. Now, the Mavericks, you could say, have 2 of the 3 best players. I think they have 1 of the top 3, 2 of the top 4 in this finals matchup. Because I would go Luka, Tatum, Brown, then Kyrie in that order, right?
Yep.
The Celtics have 5 of the top 7 players playing in this finals? This is a deep team, but late in a game, who do you trust more? What tandem? Who has executed? And think about the run that this Dallas team has gone on.
Yep.
Yes, they're a 5 seed. That's because of early in the season how much they were struggling. And with Kyrie Irving forced to come back to Dallas because there wasn't a market for him, so he re-signed with them. But then this is the Dallas front office piecing together this team and identifying a Daniel Gafford, identifying a PJ Washington and what they bring. Derek Lively as a rookie exceeding all expectations and coming back and being healthy, right?
Yep.
I knew you were going to do this to me, Ted.
Yep. What we got?
That ain't Nemhard and McConnell on the other side. That ain't Aaron Nesmith.
Yep.
This is a deep Celtics team.
Yep.
But that's the second best player in the world opposite of you. A guy that's played in high state games since he was 15, 16, 17. Against a bunch of 30-year-olds. A guy mentally that does not care. Will embrace being the villain in TD Garden. And this is someone that will come in game 1 and rip your souls out before Kristaps Porzingis can even come back into the fold and get to full force. Tay, it pains me. It does. Mavericks in 6.
Wow.
I think it's going to be Mavericks in 6.
Yeah.
If it goes 7, I wouldn't be shocked. And I know game 7 can be a coin flip. But I think when it comes to late game execution, with the coaching job we've seen from Jason Kidd, and how much of a big deal do the Celtics make about Kyrie back, and how big does Kyrie make of his return to Boston and what he'll hear from the fans and the booing he'll get? But I think when you look at what Doncic and Kyrie do and provide and complement each other, and what Luka has done, he's gotten healthier since that knee injury. This is such a deep Celtics team. It's tough to say, but I go Mavericks in 6 because I think when it gets that tight, and if the Mavs have a lead where they can close it out in game 6, right? Luka looks at his teammates and go, in the fourth quarter, give me the ball. We're not going back to Boston. I can close this thing out now. And if it goes to 7, that's going to be an anxious TD Garden against the Celtics. So I'm going Mavericks in 6, and it hurts. It feels dirty. I don't feel right saying it. But this Mavericks team, there's something special about them, what they do defensively, how PJ Washington has stepped up. And what do they get from the role players, right? Because is it PJ Washington against the Thunder, or is it PJ Washington against the T-Wolves and Clippers, which wasn't shooting at an outside clip like he was against OKC, right? It's that Luka, man. There's just something to him. And we've seen Tatum and Brown on this stage, right? And now Tatum was banged up last time in the finals. Jaylen Brown was great in the finals. Drew has been here before. But what do we get from Luka? What do we get from Jason Tatum? I'm betting on the best player in this series. And it's tough because that team opposite of him is so damn good.
That's it. I like that prediction. I said it here on Hold My Banner.
What's yours?
Mavs in 6. Mavs in 6.
If it goes 7, game 7 in Boston.
I knew you were gonna ask me this. Go ahead, man.
If it goes 7, who do you got? It's so tough. I was in that building game 6 of the finals against the Warriors. Steph came out in the third quarter and did Steph things, and that's when you knew that was a separation of that game. Now, given it comes out, Tatum was not right in that final series. He doesn't average 22 points per game and is 100% healthy. There's no way that happens. But Jaylen Brown played great. And this is such a different Celtics team. You swap out a Marcus Smart for a Drew Holiday that understands his role, better defensively, a better leader. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who have gotten better since that point. And credit to Jaylen Brown, dude. He got paid heard what everyone was saying with the handles and how could he be the highest, and he turned it into fuel. And he got better this season. And you know what he's looking at now? Give me the ball in the biggest moments. I don't care.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, go be the playmaker. I'll be the number one. He has no problem doing that. If Porzingis is 80% of what he is and can be there for the entire series, like this team is not even remotely close to 2022. Derek White, again, better, right?
Yeah.
But game 7, with that pressure on, Luka and Kyrie, especially Luka, relishes in the moment, loves to be the villain, has been in this spot before. And don't forget, he's been to the Western Conference Finals and lost, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't been to the finals, but he's been there. And now what is he, 25, 26?
Yeah.
He's of age of coming. Second best player could take over a game. Game 7, again, it's tough. Feel dirty saying it.
Yeah, I see it this way. Look, let me say this. If it were to go to 7 and the Celtics were to win that game 7, I would say it's going to be Jaylen Brown, who is the guy who takes them over the edge over anybody else in the Celtics jersey, because I believe that he does have that dog in him that you were talking about that breeds in Luka. But, man, I got to be with you. I think if it goes 7, Luka and Kyrie are coming in on their villain arc, masked up, ready to rob all the nice people sitting in the first couple rows of the TD Garden and just take the souls of Boston and win game 7. So I'm right there with you, but I hate to say it. I do hate to say it because, like I told Travis, man, I'm trying to turn up. I'm trying to be out there.
I want to enjoy this city celebrating a ring.
I'm trying to be out there on Storo, running around.
On Storo?
Yeah. Storo, man, because it's beautiful. I'm envisioning a beautiful day, the water glistening.
Oh, yeah.
People out there buzzing, having a great time. That's where I'm trying to be at, man. Enjoying a championship celebration. So I'm hoping the Celtics can pull it out. But I do want to ask you this, since we're talking about this Celtics team and how good they are and how good they can be and the possibility of them winning the championship. 2008 or 2024 Celtics, man. Who are you taking in a 7-game series?
How do you not go with this Celtics team? And I'm not going to talk on recency bias.
Yep.
I'm talking skill. I'm talking talent. I'm talking defensively what they bring.
Yep.
Now, that 08 Celtics team with Kevin Garnett, Tony Allen, right?
Yep.
They could bring some problems. But how deep this Celtics team is right now. And if we're going both teams 100% healthy, right? Everyone contributing on this one?
100%.
How do you not go the 2024 Celtics in 7 games? That's what's tough for me.
Yeah.
What Drew Holiday brings, what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're matching up with Paul Pierce on the perimeter. They just completely take him out of that. And then with the size, they can still bang down low with Kevin Garnett as well.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to bet against this Celtics team. I would go 2024. And sure, yeah, there's an inkling of recency bias, but just look on the floor and the eye test. This 2024 Celtics team can lose in the finals. I did just pick them to lose in the finals. I would take them over that 2008 Celtics team.
Yeah, I disagree, to be honest. I'm going to go 2008. And it goes back to the thing that I love to say on this show, man, that dog factor. I think that KG and Paul Pierce and Rondo are coming to punk people. Like, they're just going to come out there. They're going to make you feel them for 48 minutes. They're going to take Porzingis' legs out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to make you work. And I would argue that they were deeper. Honestly, they played 10 dudes in that final series against the Lakers that year that all played 10 minutes or more. So you got guys at the end of the bench who just are ready to play, come in. You got Poe, obviously, PJ Brown, you got Eddie House, you got Sam Cassell. They were all great vets. They all knew how to win. They were all scrappy and hungry. A lot of them that was their one and only opportunity to win the championship. So I think they just had that, we're not losing. We're not letting anybody beat us. We don't care if we're not the most talented team, which they were very talented. Don't get me wrong. They were very talented. But compared to this 2024 team, I think the star power is a little bit higher. Obviously, I would say KG is probably the best player on either side in that series. That's just my opinion. As far as what we've seen now from Tatum and stuff like that, at KG at that time was better. So I just think that they have 10 guys that you play right now. This Celtics team really has 8 that I'm comfortable with. Tillman, is like the ninth probably guy that I'm comfortable with having out there. And then after that, I don't want Cornette in the game, bro.
You don't want Cornette. Dude, Peyton Pritchard matching up defensively with that 08 team. Whew. Same thing targeted. Sam Hauser out on the floor.
Them matching up with him defensively too. Like them trying to guard him is going to be rough for that team. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of those guards, they were physical, but they were kind of slow-footed laterally, and he makes you work. I think it's a battle of like, what do you like more? Like, not saying that this new age team can't guard. They just don't guard physically. You know what I mean? It's a different type. It's a different type of like imposing defense that they have, where they really switch and they get in front of guys and they move really well. That team is really like, we're going to out physical you. And I think in a playoff series, that really carries more weight.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I went 2024. I like you went 2008. I understand it. And the dog factor that you brought in, I agree. There's more dogs on that 08 team. They're on this 2024 team.
Yep.
That plays into why I do like the Mavericks in 6 or 7 as well.
Yeah.
That dog factor with Luka, and I brought up his history. But who's the dog that you have matching up opposite of him defensively? Because think about it like this. Against the Thunder, Luka averaged 24, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
Shot 44%. That was with Lou Dort, 6'4", 220, one of the best defenders in the league on him.
Yep.
Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels, good defender, physically not the same.
Yeah.
32, 8, and 6. So you have Jaylen Brown, who I would start on Luka. I think the big physical defender that JB is, 6'7", 225 yoked.
Yep.
Or you have Drew Holiday, 6'4", 215, gives up on size. But with Luka, the way he throws his weight around, 6'7", 240, puts his shoulder, gets you on his hip, just knows what to do.
Yep.
But I would put Jaylen Brown on him. Now think about what I'm asking, though. I'm asking Jaylen Brown to guard the Mavericks' best player.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, hey, dude, because of how it's going to match up, the offense is going to run through you, too. This speaks to the test on Jaylen Brown. I think he's capable of it.
Yeah.
But who would you have defend Luka Doncic in the finals?
Yeah, personally, I would make it a Derek White thing. And it's because I want to save as much as I can for offense for Jaylen Brown and Tatum. And I think he's a good plus defender, same size as those guys that can really do it. It's going to end up being a switching game anyways, right? So you're going to end up having high pick and roll with Luka. And then obviously they're going to just switch, probably try to get KP on the Luka, and he's going to have his dance, right? But my thing is, you got to go back to watching those Warriors and Cavs series, right? The Warriors used to do a lot of pre-switching. And so for those that don't understand, they would obviously put a guard on the center, knowing that they're going to sprint up to set the screen, obviously. And then as soon as that switch would happen, right, they would have a guard now switching on to the ball handler instead of a big. And then once the big, who would be lively in this situation, rolls to the rim, Porzingis would run away from the corner, from whoever he's guarding in the corner, to protect the rim and do a lot of that. I think that we might end up seeing some of that from the Boston Celtics in order to kind of mix up the looks that Luka gets, because if you just go up there and you do the high pick and roll switch with KP all day, he's going to have his way, and that's how they want to play, and he's too good to be able to do that. I think Mazzulla is smart enough to know that they're going to have to switch defenses and throw a lot of different looks on those pick and rolls for Luka. So I'm going to say start with D. White, and then obviously it's a by committee situation.
Would it be like Kristaps Porzingis starting out on PJ Washington in the corner, where if he's back to his level of shooter, which was bad against the Timberwolves, bad against the Clippers, then like you said, that helps. KP on the back door, helping recover, protect the rim, right?
Yeah.
And then you start out maybe like a JB on the lively. This is what makes the Celtics so tough to pick against too.
Yes.
Because it could be Drew Holiday and Derek White on Kyrie, then the Jays on Luka. And no matter how many picks they set and what they do, it's a carbon copy on the other. Now, D. White's a little bit of a different defender than Drew Holiday. 100%. Same thing with Tatum and Brown, right? Yeah. Brown much more athletic and maybe stronger too, and you're asking more of Tatum on the other end. This is where it's tough. This is why I feel dirty saying Mavericks in 6. I'm not going to talk my way out of it by the end of this podcast. I got to go. I got to put my heels on the ground.
Yes.
But I love that you point that out with the pre-switch. How do they set it up? And how do they protect? Again, it comes into the importance of Kristaps Porzingis, because if Al Horford's on the floor, if Luke Cornett's on the floor, they're going to be smelling blood. They are going to be hunting. Horford was hunted back last time the Celtics were in the finals. He was hunted all throughout this postseason. Mavericks are going to do the same with the 2 guards they got.
Yeah, they definitely are. But all right, that's enough Celtics Mavericks talk for now. We're going to switch it over to Wicked or Kick It. George,
I've been looking forward to this
opportunity to do Wicked or Kick It. All right,
yes.
So first we got Jason Tatum's fit from the 2022 NBA Finals. So this is Wicked or Kick It Finals edition. All right. So what do you think about this fit, George?
So this is one I see that jacket on a rack in Saks, and I think instantly, who the hell would wear that? And then I see it, and to me, it's not just the jacket, it's the shoes.
Yeah.
It's a complementary of the two. You got, what are those, Jordan 1s?
Yep.
Right? Matching perfectly the white and the black and the pink with that jacket.
Yep.
And I do like the leopard print. And I am a big print guy. I love the right lapel for him. Whatever that design looks like, I got a printed copy in front of me. It's like a peacock. There's some blue. Even the match, the watch matches the leopard print on the cuffs. This is wicked to me. I could never pull this off. Maybe I could. Time and place. Yeah. Time and place. You got me in like Cabo, Mexico, and I'm feeling myself, and I'm tan.
Yeah.
My Lebanese skin is shining through. I'd rock this. And you know what I love? The simplicity of the white tee.
Yeah.
The simplicity of the white tee underneath. It's because you have so much going on with that jacket. All you need is a good white tee. This is wicked to me. What about you?
Yeah, I would say wicked as well. It reminds me of a Kim Mulkey jacket. That's why I like it, because it's like, it's flair. It's like here. It's his first time, you know what I mean, being in the finals. So I love that he got the opportunity to really show it off. Jordan Brand athlete. He obviously has the bleach coral ones on that you were alluding to. So yeah, I like this. I also really love, it's kind of giving me Miami vibes, and I think it's because of the chains. Right, that's what I was thinking, Paradise. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Because of those chains, it's like those nice, like thin gold chains layered perfectly to perfection. So I'm going to go 8.6 on this one. It's one of my favorite fits that I've seen actually on Wicked or Kick It. And it's because of the balance, like you said. It's loud up top, but quiet and, you know, just understated down low. So yeah, I'm going to go Wicked on this one as well.
So I guess you see, the 8.6 I respect. I don't want to give too high of a rating on my first one.
Yeah.
I don't want to match what you're doing.
Okay.
But I'm going to go 8.9. I think the versatility of this. Where would you rock this? You said Miami. You know, you're down South Beach.
It's South Beach. You know what I mean? It's giving me GTA vibes. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go South Beach, and, you know, just a nice dinner. It's the dinner fit. You know what I mean? You're going to a nice little dinner. Nothing too, you know, fancy or anything like that, of course, because we got the Jordans on. But, yeah, I'm rocking with it. But, all right, man, let's talk about somebody else's fit who is a little bit crazier. Tristan Thompson.
I hate that I have to hear that name.
This is his fit from the 2018 NBA Finals. So what do you think of this one, man?
This is giving me youth pastor, Christian rock star vibes. Yeah. This is I'm kicking this. This looks terrible. Because like that jacket with like the tucked in gray tee and then the hat on top. And then I hate the shoes, too. The shoes are terrible. This is just awful all around. I give this like a 3.2. It's just, what's going on? What, like, he has a flannel wrapped around his waist. That's what it looks like it's by his belt. I don't know. This is just bad. Like, what are you doing with that leather jacket? A leather jacket's not a bad look. But this way, it's terrible.
Yeah. My thing is, I always say this, man. You guys are millionaires. Why are your pants flooding, bro? Like, you got skinny jeans, and they're all the way up to your calves, bro. Like, what are we doing? And then these shoes, like, at least put the Chelsea boots on if you're going to have this pastor fit like you talked about. You know, the Chelsea boots were hot back then, probably a little bit earlier than then, probably like 2015. But, like, bro, what are these? These look like Walmart specials, bro.
I was going to say, that looks like a Brooks knockoff you'd get at Zara in France.
Yeah, man. And then up top, he's got that tight shirt on, tucked into the jeans.
That's why you tucking in the shirt. If you let that gray shirt, if it's like a long shirt, let that hang off, and that adds like a layer and differentiates the pants from the leather jacket, right?
Yeah. And then he's got the padded shoulders. Like, what?
I think that's it for me. That's why I don't like that leather jacket.
The padded shoulders, and then the glasses and the hat. He looks like CeeLo Green. Forget you. Boop, boop, boop.
That is it right there. I like the vocals thing.
So, you know what I mean? I'm not rocking with it. This is why I hate this fit the most that I've ever hated on the fit on Wicked or Kick It. This is a 1.
Whew.
This is a 1.
I gave him a 3. You gave him a 1.
This is a 1. Nothing's good about this fit. Everything sucks. Sorry, man. Get him off the screen. Can we talk? Can we talk about somebody who actually dresses well and is actually a good NBA player? Steph Curry, man. What do you think of this fit? This one is from the 2019 NBA Finals that he lost to the Toronto Raptors.
And that's a 3-piece purple suit, white jet. I would unbutton one more.
Yeah.
I hate to keep this simple,
Yeah.
But there's like simplicity with the style, the way that suit fits him. Now, obviously, Steph's a lot bigger than me, but like this is how you wear a suit if you're a smaller guy like myself. He's small for NBA standards.
Yes.
9.4.
Wow.
Wicked 9.4. Great purple suit, perfect color. I can't tell the material from this photo.
Yeah.
And even down to the dress shoes, just the black.
Yeah.
He might be rocking loafers.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
And that is a man. Now, they didn't win those finals. Obviously, it's 2019 against the Raptors. But that's a man dressed for business. 9.4 on that one.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, there are some pinstripes on this suit. And I feel like pinstripes is a sign of maturity, man. And honestly, going into this series, there were a lot of question marks about Steph and is he mature enough? Is he a leader? All this other stuff. I think he answered it. He didn't have the help that he needed.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that Kevin Durant got hurt in that series. Clay got hurt in that series. So it was really out there alone with Draymond. We know Draymond's not scoring anything higher than what we're rating some of these fits. But I love this fit, man. I agree. I'm not as high on it as you are. I think it's incredible. 9s is a little high for my scale. I think 9s is a fit that's like perfect. I think he could have really dressed it up a little bit more with the accessories. We know Steph is not really a flashy guy.
Fair.
He's more of a simple and plain guy, but I love this fit as well. I think the purple or blue, whatever, dark navy that is of the suit, the pinstripes, having the white show. I love the vest under. It's great. So I'm going to go 8.9 on this fit.
He was very close to being like looking like Willy Wonka.
Yes.
So it is fair where you knock my 9.4, which I agree.
Right.
But he hit it perfect. So I think there's a respect of pulling it off. Like you can wear it, but to pull it off, Steph does. That's why he gets a 9.4. Even the headphones match the shirt.
Yep.
They calculate everything. You know all that spot on.
100%.
I like this Wicked and Kicking. Thanks for doing that with me, Tay.
Yeah, of course. And I'm glad to have you on it, man. But all right, let's switch it over now and talk more final stuff. But on this one, we're going to really talk about what we think about the cities. Ooh. So Boston or Dallas, we got some things that we're going to run through. We're going to start with food. Which city do you like better for the food scene?
Now, I've never been to Dallas. I've been in a layover in Dallas. I was just in Austin, Texas last weekend, so that's why I couldn't sing CeeLo Green with you. My vocal cords are still recovering from that weekend. But if you go best food, what's the food of the city? And that's barbecue in Dallas?
Yes.
I got to go Boston. Seafood, Italian, some of the best you'll have in the country. And I'm telling you, someone that grew up proudly in New Jersey, went to New York City all the time. Boston's Italian food is better than New York City's. And I'm not talking, you just go, you're going North End. There's spots you can find in JP. There's spots you can find in Melrose and Charlestown. Better Italian food than we get in the North End.
Yep.
But with that combined with the seafood you can find at the right spots, I got to go better food is Boston, man. I really, truly got to do that.
Yeah, I don't hate that take. I'm going to go better food for Dallas, honestly, but it's just because of the diversity. I think there's more diverse food options. Boston food doesn't even stay open past 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that, bro. Struggle.
So, you know what I mean? You have a lot of options. I think the Tex-Mex is one of those things that can't really be replicated outside of the South extremely well. So, Terry Black's, shout out them and their barbecue. They have a great brisket out there. And then obviously they have a lot of soul out there, a lot of Tex-Mex, which is a huge thing. It has its own, genre, obviously. Seafood is also really good in Dallas. And then they also have some Eastern Asian cuisines out there that are phenomenal. So I'm going to go Dallas with this one. But I don't hate the Boston take. My
one thing, and I had plenty of barbecue over the weekend. Yeah. I can't imagine having that daily.
Yes.
And now I can't imagine having heavy Italian food daily either, right? But that the Tex-Mex and Terry Black's, that will get old quick for me. But I can have Italian food every day, doesn't matter. And the same thing with good seafood. Dollar oysters. When I moved to Boston and discovered dollar oysters, you could catch me at Warren Tavern Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 every day of the week because I'm going there. I'm having 32 oysters right off the rip. Order 32, bring them out, and just chase them down with some nice IPAs. But you can't give me a good rack of ribs. But I could do dollar oysters daily. Ribs, miss me.
Yeah, all right. What about activities? Which city has better activities?
This is, again, I haven't been to Dallas, so that's tough. I've heard good things, but I've also never heard anyone go to me go to Dallas. You have to visit Dallas, right? Again, I give this one to Boston. And I'm thinking activities. You go to the Common. You explore the history. I'm talking Beacon Hill, Charlestown, right? Go through Back Bay. Go through the South End. You can have the dollar oysters. You could get your drink on. You can go through the the historic trail they have in Boston. I'm blanking on the name on that
Freedom
one.
Trail.
Freedom Trail. Thank you. You could turn that into a bar hop all along the way. You could do those things. Me being outdoorsy too.
Yep.
If you're going to Dallas in the summertime, you can't be outside at all. The Texas heat is different.
Right, and
you know it from your
too.
El Paso days, right?
Yeah.
But now, I don't know. Like, is there more hiking in Dallas? Now we're getting outside of the city.
Yeah.
But to me, it's also like beer gardens on the Charles River, riding a kayak on the Charles if you want to as well.
Yeah.
Being on the water, you could take the boat out to Eastie and Tall Ship. Activities, I go Boston on this one. A lot of drinking centered activities, but I go Boston on this.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. History, I feel like both of them have a lot, some history with the JFK, obviously, museum and stuff like that. And Dallas here, like you alluded to, obviously the founding fathers and all of that jazz. Museums out the galore from both cities. You have art museums in both cities that are amazing, history museums that are amazing. Where I would give Dallas the edge a little bit is the zoos and stuff like that and aquariums. They have that over Boston. We don't really have that much here.
Aquarium here sucks.
Also, I would give them a little bit of the edge of the weather, obviously, being able to go outside a little bit more often and enjoy these activities because it rains 24/7 here in Boston.
I know.
But I am with you. I'm going to give the nod to Boston on this one because of the water activities. I think that is a huge plus. Every city is going to have the same stuff. You can go to the movies, you can go to Top Golf, whatever. That's going to be the same in every city, right? But where Boston wins is the ability to get into the water and do some things with the boats and just be outside, get to a beach super quickly. Dallas doesn't have that ability, so I'm going to give Boston the edge on that one.
And what I'm going to go with this one, too, what is an activity is going to Fenway, having beers, watching a baseball game. You're not like, all right, let's go to the Rangers game in Arlington. No. Yeah. Fenway's actually in Boston. And then, of course, the outside, what you could do and have a good time there, too. So I like that you're giving Boston the nod there.
Yep. All right, what about nightlife?
Dallas. Boston's nightlife sucks. Like Marielle's good. The clubs here, I mess with them. I like them. Bijou. Yeah. But the nightlife here sucks. You just said there's no food after 9:30 p.m. I was out all night. I need my drunk slice of pizza. I need my cheesesteak. I need my Chinese food. And it shuts down at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And the next day I am dead because I need that food to soak it up. Dallas, better nightlife.
Yeah, 100% Dallas. I don't even think I need to say anything. You said it all for that. What about music artists, all right?
So we got to run through. I'll list off some Boston people, right?
Yep.
Aerosmith, Bobby Brown's from Roxbury. Shout out the great. Cousin Stiz, Bia.
Yep.
Belle Biv DeVoe. I'm drawing a line here. Joyner Lucas, he's from Worcester, but I'll include him in this one.
Yep.
Then Dallas, you have Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Post Malone, Erykah Badu, Vanilla Ice. Here is the person that swings it for me and makes a deciding factor.
Okay.
Kirk Franklin.
Wow.
I smile.
Yeah.
You wake up on Sunday, sun's out, you play that. You don't need to go to church. That's what Kirk provides. Right. I've never met a more powerful short king than Kirk Franklin. Yep. So as respect to short kings, Dallas has a better artist by far.
Whoa.
There it is.
No, I'm just playing.
Dude, find me gospel music that fires you up like Kirk Franklin.
No,
seriously.
It doesn't. It doesn't. There are no other artists that do that. Maybe Lecrae or whatever that dude's name is. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Boston on this one though. And I think the one that puts me over the edge is New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe. You know what I mean? I don't know. Poison just makes me want to get up and do that kid and play crisscross jump. You know what I'm saying? So every time I hear Poison, you know what I mean, it's gonna get me up and dancing. So I'm gonna rock with Boston based off of that one song, but I do love the Dallas music as well. But all right,
it's all like if you think of like famous people from these cities, but like what's Boston got? Like Edgar Allan Poe, Paul Revere. Yeah. Then Dallas got heavy hitters too. So
all right, and lastly, sports teams, man. We got to talk sports teams. Which city has better sports teams? George?
Boston. It's Boston.
Yeah,
and you're including the Patriots. I understand. Joyner Lucas is down in Worcester. The Patriots are down in Foxborough. At one point, they were the Boston Patriots.
Yeah.
So miss me with that. They can't help that they were located by their owner 45 minutes outside of the city.
Yeah.
I feel for every Patriots player because they got to live down in Rentham and Walpole and down in the Seaport, right?
Right.
Boston's a better sports team. Yeah. It's been 5 years since they've had a title in 2019, right? And that feels like a drought. Yeah, the Rangers won it in 2023, but like Mavs in 2011, Rangers in 2023. All right, cool. Stars haven't won it since 99.
Yeah.
It's Boston.
Okay, so I'm asking you this. Since you're giving the Stars and the Rangers, obviously, do the Sun count?
No. Because that's Connecticut. That's at that point, it's Connecticut. Like if I'm going to a Rangers game, at least it's in Arlington.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the CT Sun, they're in Connecticut. That's me going New England. Because if I'm going to count the Connecticut Sun in the sports, then and Boston won it, but then I got to consider activities outside of Boston. So I'm bringing in Portsmouth, Portland, Stowe, right? I'm bringing all of that in. No, so I got to be fair. We're talking Boston, the city that the finals are being played in.
Yep.
Boston's still the better sports town. And no disrespect to the CT Sun. Great team. And I could count the Dallas Wings in this one, but also the Dallas Wings haven't won anything since they came into existence in the WNBA. So I don't count the Connecticut Sun.
Okay. All right. Well, can you help me talk about this Kyrie and Kristaps Porzingis stuff that's going on in this NBA Finals?
Yeah. So we had an interesting bite from Kyrie where he's talking about his return to Boston and his relationship with the fans and how it played out. Let's play that bite for you guys right now.
Last time in Boston, I don't think that was the best. Not this regular season, but when we played in the playoffs and everyone saw me flip off the birds and kind of lose my shit a little bit, that wasn't a great reflection of who I am and how I like to compete on a high level. It wasn't a great reflection on my end towards the next generation on what it means to control your emotions in that type of environment, no matter what people are yelling at you. I'm built for these moments to be able to handle circumstances like that. And I've been able to grow since then. So, of course, it's going to be a hectic environment, but I'm looking forward to it. And I see it as a healthy relationship to have with the fans. I almost think about Gladiator, just win the crowd over. It's good to hear the TD Garden silent when you're playing well. They still respect great basketball. So regardless of, the attention that's being paid to what it's going to be like on my end, I have a group to lead that's going to be looking to me for a voice of peace and to be able to control what I can control and also help them through it. So I'll take the brunt of it, of all the yells and stuff like that and all the remarks, but I've been able to grow since then and acknowledge that, I just can handle things better, especially when I want to put majority of my energy towards playing well. I can't just be getting into it with fans like that, even though it may be fun at times, but it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of my time.
So I just want to come off rip and hear that from Kyrie. Like I hear the maturity and I hear everything from him and I get it. I think like he finally matured. He's focusing on basketball. And when he does that, he is one of the top 5 best to watch. I'm not saying top 5 in the league, but to watch. And what he is offensively as a creator and scorer, unreal, right? Yeah. It's not about Kyrie leaving Boston. It's about him coming in and saying, I'm the man, I'm the leader, I want to lead this team, and never owning up to that. It's October 2018 saying, I want to stay if y'all will have me. I want my jersey up in those rafters. Then by February of that season, talking 2 max slots with Kevin Durant. It's saying you want to be the man and never doing it. Yep. And it's about selling on the team in the middle of a playoff series against the Bucks. So this fan base will come out and TD Garden will boo Kyrie Irving. They will be toxic towards him. Treat him like a human being. Don't cross the line. But for Kyrie to come out and what we're seeing in the conversation from people saying, it's like, it wasn't that bad. Boston should appreciate him. No. Because he came in and said what he said and was toxic and tore apart that locker room and never owned up to being the leader that he is. Maybe he never should have been, and he never was the number one on a team, and that's fine. And people learn and they grow, right? I'm not the same person that I am now that I was 5-6 years ago, and I get that with him. But I understand why Boston fans are pissed off and they will give it to him when he's back in the Garden because it's not about you leaving. It's about how you were, how you treated this franchise and this passionate city and fan base that will love you undyingly while you were here. That's my Kyrie take on that.
Yeah, I like that take. Can I get the Porzingis take? Obviously, we know that Chandler Parsons went and said that he's hated in Dallas. Luka came out and said that he's not. We love that he has a good relationship with KP. What do you think of that situation?
Chandler Parsons is a nobody. It's like, you had a long career, but you're a nobody, bro. Congrats, you got paid. But I think it just shows it. And Kristaps Porzingis said himself, he goes, I was a number one my whole career. I came into Dallas. I wasn't ready to be the number one, right? And he realized that. And Luka, by the time he got there, was already that guy. So it's Kristaps Porzingis trying to learn and grow and mature. I was living in Jersey when he was drafted by the Knicks. They loved him. He wasn't ready for that big stage yet. Yep. He dealt with his injuries. He dealt with his growing pains. Became Dallas. He wasn't the number one. Went to Washington. Got a big mug of humility. Now he's in Boston. He's not the number one, and see what he is. So what it was between him and Luka back in the day, I think it's all love between the two of them. And he just came in. He tried to be the one, and he wasn't. Luka was, and he left.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better let sleeping dogs lie. Chandler Parsons ain't doing that. And I love how Luka came out and said, I've spoken to him twice in my life. I don't know why he's saying that. Basically saying, shut your mouth.
True. Very, very, very true. But all right, man. Can you wrap up the show for us, man? You had a great, obviously, time speaking there. So I just want to hear what you got to say, man.
Man, Tay, I'll just leave it with this on the last part of this show. Loved being on this with you. Loved holding it out without Travis Thomas being here. He'll be back, of course. He ain't going anywhere. But again, 9 years in the making, Ante. It was awesome to be with you. And I think I got to say from this, too, as an old head to a youngin', it's great to see you grow. I love what you're doing here at Nesson. I love working with you, bro. You're a great addition to the team. And we both got to say, shout out to our boy Declan for making this happen 9 years ago, and look where it is now.